fire away.
Hey, Nick, I know before the season you have the meeting with each player about their role. When a role changes during the season, especially when it decreases, how do you handle that?
Yeah, again, you talk to everybody, just open lines of communication. Our role meeting is, yes, it's done in private, but it's also done in person, and then you redefine roles as each game comes up, because a little roles change here and there within the game are part of me, week in, week out. So when you're going over goals, hey, it's important that we stop this guy, and you're going to be responsible for that. So, again, when guys' roles change positively or playing a little bit less or have less, you just communicate everything.
We haven't really seen Jalen be held back for load management before. What was behind that on Wednesday?
Yeah, he's dealing with it was on the injury report, dealing with the ankle, and just making sure we're precautious with everything.
What's wrong with the ankle? He wasn't on the ankle.
I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts. It was an ankle?
What's that?
It was the rest.
That was the rest, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
I thought you were talking about something else. All right.
Is Jalen dealing with an ankle problem?
No, rest.
When it comes to that role, to sort of follow up, everybody handles it a little bit differently. So how much does that come into the fact that you have to learn the personalities and figure out what button to push?
Yeah, again, it's just knowing everybody, and everybody's has a little bit different personality. Everybody's a little bit different, and just having that communication and knowing the guys at the end of the day is what's the most important. So you're able to communicate that with them. And again, like, I don't want to get too much into all the conversations that you have with everybody, but it's again, a lot of it is done in front of the team, as far as, hey, here's what's important for this week as a whole. Here's what's important for you this week as an individual. Again, you can't do that every single week like you do in the preseason, but yeah.
How has motion helped? I know motion in the past game obviously will give the quarterback a lot of pre-snap tells, but in the run game, especially the read part of it, how does the motion help an offense and a quarterback?
Yeah, again, it just puts deception into the defense's mind, not giving them the same look, and so they have to recognize different formations and adjust on the fly.
When it came to those decisions for like rest and everything else, with it being a short week the following week, how do you balance that, like knowing that you still want to go?
Yeah, everything you do, you're trying to get the guys ready for this game, obviously, but also have the future in mind, whether you have a short week the following week, or a long week, or a night game, or whatever it is. So you're thinking about that with everything that you do. So the rest this week, we do, you look at every single player and you kind of have an individual plan. I think that's why we have such good doctors and trainers and also strength staff, because everybody has basically an individual plan. But and even today, what will we do at the end of practice? That's kind of how the practice goes, right? How are we feeling? So something could turn into a jog through. So everything, you have these contingency plans on everything. What are we going to do in this case? What are we going to do in that case? And so, yeah, every little scenario has a contingency plan, and then we will, we'll see how the game goes, see what Monday's going to look like. Will we bring the guys in? Will we practice later in the week? All those things are discussed, and you go off your plans that you've done prior to that as well, and kind of just adjust those as you go.
Nick, we learned that Lane and a couple offensive linemen came to you during the bye week and expressed their desired direction for the offense. What was that moment like from your perspective?
Yeah, again, it's everything. I spent a lot of time with Jalen, obviously, during that bye week, and just talking through things. And Jalen had so much good insight. And then, you always listen to your players as far as what they're the ones out there seeing it and feeling it. And so I think it's just good feedback. It's good. That's good organizational. That's just good organizational football, right? Is to be communicating with everyone to get everyone on the same page. I thought it was great productive meetings.
Why do you think the Cowboys, it's such a drastic
changed from one way to the other. 8-0, they dominated home last year. Now they've really struggled on. What have you seen on tape that makes them so different this year?
Yeah, I think this is I still really have a lot of respect for this football team. They got a lot of good players. They got good coaches, and we're gonna have to be on it. No, going up there into a difficult place to play and be on it. And so we're preparing that way. When we put on tape, you watch tape different ways. Sometimes you watch it in the flow of the game, and sometimes you watch it in as cut-ups. And when you're watching cut-ups, you're like, "Oh man, that's a tough one to stop," or this is a tough scheme to stop, or this is a tough player to stop. And so, they have our full attention. This is a rivalry game. This is a big-time game against a big-time opponent. And I don't think I haven't been a part of a team that's won there yet. So that's the goal, to go down there and win against a good opponent.
All right. Thanks, folks.